What's up, everybody? Welcome to another fantastic episode, we hope, of TerrorCrave. We are the hosts, as always, Lee and Jason. What's up, dude? How are you?
I'm great, man. It's been a great week for horror fans, man. A lot of movies coming out. On Peacock had a couple, and Hulu had a nice one come out.
Yeah,
Another good one coming out at the end of the week that was just at the theaters, and I'm really excited to see that because I didn't get to the theater to see it. And some new trailers come out, so it was a good week. Good week for
yeah,
horror fans.
yeah. Glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear it. And yes, you're absolutely right. It definitely was a good week for horror fans. And what I like, and I know some people don't, but it's the fact that we not leave, have to leave our homes to check out these new films
Yeah.
that have been dropping. You know what I mean? Like you said, you insinuated Hulu had a huge one drop, and so did Peacock.
Hmm.
Uh, Prey on Hulu, and they slashed them on Peacock. Which, by the way, for that title, we've been talking about that for a bit. I think we were calling it they them.
Hmm.
And I just picked up the other day, literally a day or two ago, as long as I've seen that title, they slash them.
Yeah.
That's the play on the title, or the play of because it's a killer film. You know what I'm saying?
Now I'm starting to. I didn't even think about that.
I didn't think about it either, man. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's a nice little witty way of saying it. You know what I mean? They
Yeah.
slash them.
Yeah.
Anyway, so no, and then you said some cool trailers also dropped.
Yeah.
So I guess without further ado, we'll just jump right into it, man. What do you want to take first? Do you want to take Prey, or do you want to jump off
No,
with
no, let's
they?
do they them. Let's
All
do
right,
they
cool.
them first.
All right, yeah, they slash them. As you said, jumped out on Peacock August 5th. Stars
Mhm.
Kevin Bacon. A lot of people were actually excited about this one because, as we all know, and I think we've talked about this on the show before, Kevin Bacon, his first role was on the first Friday the 13th, where he played
Yep.
one of the counselors.
Yep.
And we all know he was obviously killed. None
Mm.
of the counselors made it out by killed by Mrs. Voorhees, but it was a big deal. Kevin's also done a really good. He's actually done some really good horrors here the past couple of years, or for the last few years actually.
Yeah.
Starting with Star of Echoes that I can remember. He started some
That
really
was
good
awesome.
ones. Yeah, Star of Echoes
Really
was
good.
good. Unfortunately, overshadowed by The Sixth Sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
really was because they came out within a few months of each other, and people were looking at that one as, but it was overshadowed. But a great film. And then not too long ago, he did the one with the house that they moved into, which of course I wish I never brought it up because I can't think of the
There's
name of
a
it now.
part two to that out now. Have you seen that? It doesn't star Kevin Bacon, and I guess they just um it's either out or it's coming out. I saw a premiere for it or a preview for it
No, I didn't know that
because
actually
it's the same house.
that he goes to.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I didn't know that. But You Should Have Left is the name of
Yes.
that movie.
Yes.
And then and then now he's done they slash them. So a lot of people are again excited about it because of his return to the
Hmm.
camp counselor horror genre type thing. Um, this one, I know I can tell you this: Sci-Fi Channel, they're owned by Universal Peacock, obviously under the same umbrella, but they were promoting the heck out of this thing
Yeah.
all weekend long. You know what I mean? And the trail, those commercials they were running on the Sci-Fi Channel. I was sitting there with my daughter, and it actually scared her. So and then so that got me a little more hype. I was like, oh, this commercials are pretty scary, and this movie is going to be really, really good. You know what I mean? I love a good uh, killer
Slasher
movie,
film.
slasher
Yeah.
film, and of course the whole being the in the camp, all of the camps and summer camps and things like that. So I like that. This one I was a little underwhelmed by. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Same.
I didn't think it was that scary.
I think
I
they
thought,
built it up way more than way it was built up way more of a horror movie. It was going to be scary than it was. I will
mm,
say that I really enjoyed the first scene. I thought the first scene was awesome, man. That was a good,
first scene
oh
was
no,
great.
turn around. It was one
Yeah,
of those good scenes. After that, I think they could have done more with the story, honestly. I think they should have done more with the story, honestly. I think um there was some parts that I just didn't like at all. First of all, only
you,
Rocky Horror Picture Show
well, the
is
premise. we should stop real quick and just say the premise if people haven't seen it. It is a summer camp, but a lot of these kids are sent unwillingly. You know, it's a
Yeah,
gay conversion camp. And Kevin Bacon is playing the counselor, head counselor, and then Anna Klumsky. I hope I'm saying her name right.
I think so.
My Girl. You know that's who that
Yep.
was, right? The movie
Yeah.
My
Well,
Girl.
my wife told me as she walked past and didn't stare at the
Uh,
screen too long.
yeah,
She was a little bit. She thought it was gonna be real scary.
yeah. She was in the film also.
Mhm.
Um, but I didn't mean to interrupt you. Just wanted to give
No,
everybody the
that's
premise
all
before
right.
you
That's
jump
all
in.
right.
Go ahead.
When they broke into song and dance, they almost lost me right there. But we're a little over halfway through at that time, so I said, "Well, I'm gonna hang it out. I'll hang around and watch this." Um, I really liked how Kevin Bacon when he came out and he gave his speech to him and he talked to all of them, and I said,
Yeah,
"Oh man, he's really gonna flip out." Like he's playing a good like, "Hey, I'm a good guy" character, but he
exactly.
wasn't.
No,
But it
but he
lost
was
me in
fooling. He
some
does fool.
parts.
He does lull you into that false sense of security. So I can imagine those
Yeah,
kids. They all felt, I think, at ease too. You know what I mean? A
yeah.
lot of them when they heard that speech that he gave.
And I don't wanna give too much away about that movie for the people that haven't watched it yet, but did you know who the killer was? Because I actually thought it was somebody else.
I did not know. And not until the scene, like literally 10 seconds before the reveal. So I'm
Yeah,
not. You know, I can't
when
even
they
say that.
showed the
And then,
person that I thought it was, I was like, "Hold on a minute." And then I was like, "Is it just a slasher that's out there?" I said, "No, there's gotta be a reason that they're there." And then when it was revealed, I was like, "Oh,
yep,
okay."
when Kevin Bacon was laying on the ground, and literally like maybe a few seconds right before the mask was taken off, I told Cindy that's who it is. But it wasn't like you know what I mean. I got it right then, but I should have known.
I
Actually,
know she
you know what I mean. I
look
should
yeah,
have
looking
known.
back, should have called on to it because that person was like, "Oh," like so
Yeah,
I don't want to say too much about it because I don't want to give it was a good it got me as
it
far as
it
like who the killer was.
you know, my wife and I were talking about this not just earlier today because I told her what the show was going to be about, and you know, she was like, "We never actually talked about it." She was like, "It was definitely more of a, as far as guessing, you know, who is it?
Mhm.
That you know, I guess you could say it was a good mystery
Yeah.
thriller
Who done it? Yeah.
in a way, or a who done it, but not scary at all. You were never like, you know." And I'm trying to even think if there's any jump scares really that were good that I can think of. But to your point, like you said, the very beginning does grab you. I guess there were a couple jump scares at that very
The
beginning.
trailer and the first scene were the scariest thing of the whole movie, scariest parts of the whole movie. They really built the trailer up like this was gonna be a
Oh
more of a
yeah,
Friday the 13th type killing going on, and, but that first scene, w like I say, I don't wanna give too much away, but she gets a flat tire at night on an old deserted not a deserted, but an
yeah.
old country road, and when she looked back down the road and she saw something, I actually thought I was like, "What is the killer there? Can she see the killer?" And then I saw the spike strip. I was like, "Oh, run,
Right.
run. It's time to go." But that part was good. I liked the beginning, but
I did
it
too. The
just kind of
beginning does
started
grab you.
losing me after that. It just because it took so long to build up and it really wasn't well, it wasn't gory at all, but it wasn't, like you were saying, no jump scares.
Yeah, you know, and hey, I know that's a cheap thriller to some, but I love a good jump scare
Oh
in
yeah.
a film. You know what I mean? That'll get me. But yeah, the beginning was good. And I'll tell you what, though, my friend, I'll never be in a situation to where a flat tire, if I'm in a life or death situation, I need to get out of somewhere or go somewhere, a flat tire will never stop me. I don't care if I'm only going 5 or 10 miles, that's all it will go. You know what I mean? There's gonna be a lot of
Yeah.
sparks flying off from that rim. I tell you what, because I'm just
Hey, what just popped in my head that part in I think it was Friday the 13th final chapter where the man and his wife are in the little Volkswagen Bug and
yeah,
they're lost and he's like, "Hold on, I'll try to find something." She calls his name and says, "Such and such, back up now." And he's like, "Why?" And she's like, "I've seen in the horror movies, know a guy or a weirdo in a mask is not
yeah,
friendly."
yeah,
That's what it reminds me of. But I'm the same. Like, I might have got out and looked at the tire and everything, but if I saw that spike strip, oh
yeah.
no, I would have been riding all the way back on a flat, all the way.
Exactly, man. There's just yeah, I just know it for sure. But no, so yeah, a little underwhelming. For sure. And if you're looking, but if I will say this though, if you go into it knowing that it's going to be like a mystery of who the killer is,
A very
and if you look at
PG-ish.
it
Well, no, it
in,
wasn't PG, that's for sure.
no, definitely not PG, but if you look at it in that frame, maybe if you go into it that way, then maybe it'll be an enjoyable film for you. But if you
Yeah.
go in expecting a good slasher horror, then you will feel a little underwhelmed. In
So,
my opinion. In my
what would
opinion.
you give it out of 10?
Oh man, maybe a five. I mean, because it wasn't. I'm not gonna give it a two. You know what I mean? I don't think it was terrible like that. But it wasn't. It wasn't a good horror film. So
Yeah,
if I'm gauging it, okay, if I'm gauging it as in a horror film and judging it 1 to 10 on that, then I'm gonna say maybe a two or three. You
yeah,
know what I mean? Maybe a four actually. But
yeah,
if just looking at it as a good thriller, not or mystery, like who is the killer?
yeah.
Then maybe a six, five or six. You know what I mean?
I would
That's
I think that because it's a horror movie, I have to give it a 1 just for that. I'll give it a 2 because Kevin Bacon was in it,
yeah,
and I'll give it a the 3rd, star because it really got me on who the killer was until the right when they, like, told who that was. So, I'll give
right.
it a 3.
You give it a three. Okay.
Yeah.
Three. All right. All right. All right. Well, so I said four.
Yeah,
All right.
we
We're
were
not
we
too
were pretty
far off.
close. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll go with a solid four on that because I was underwhelmed thinking again, great actor Kevin Bacon's return to
Yes.
the slasher genre, then
Yep.
be disappointed. Not good. Now,
Yeah.
on the flip side, my friend,
Yeah, let's get to the exciting one.
yes, on the
Yeah.
flip side of a great film, we're going to talk about Prey, which was released also this past Friday, August 5th on Hulu.
Mhm.
And it's gone on to become the biggest premiere TV show or movie that Hulu's ever
Yeah.
had. It's doing great. And it's also the most highly reviewed Predator film ever released. You
Yeah.
know? Uh dude, I thought this movie was really, really good. I enjoyed every minute of it.
Yeah, I think they did a great job with it. I loved not only that it took place in the early 1700s, but even the Predator himself wasn't as advanced as the one that we see with the original Predator or Predator 2 or Predators versus Alien. His weapons weren't as
But
advanced, his mask wasn't as advanced.
but do you think they do that though? And that's why I think that they, because of what he is, like I think they have those advancements. Well, maybe not, right? We're also talking 200
Yeah.
or
What you're
so
saying though is be,
years from
because of
there.
maybe he chooses what he
Excuse me.
wears or his weaponry by who he's going against.
I think so, only because of what I saw, right? Like for instance, when he fought the wolf, he got down on the wolf's
Yep.
level. You
Yep.
know what I mean? On all fours. you know, he didn't really use any weapons, I don't believe, for the bear at all.
No. No, just fought him
That was
straight out.
all just brutal hand to
Well,
hand
that makes a
combat.
lot of sense. That makes a
So
lot of sense.
so with them, he was using when he was fighting the Native Americans, he was using spears
Yeah.
and arrow like things. And then the bombs got a little more into it when the guys came with the guns and stuff like that. I guess he stepped up his game a little bit more. You know what I mean with the bombs and things that he had, those little grenade like things that could float. So, but for the majority of the part, he was fighting as they fought. And I think
Yeah.
that's what the whole Predators deal is, right? Is that it's all sport for them, because they're not
Yeah.
out. And I was talking to my son about this. We watched it together, and this is his first Predator movie. And later on, we're going to watch, the first Predator. Actually, we watched the first 10 minutes of it last night, and then we're going to finish it up later on. But like I was telling him, they're not out for world domination. They're not coming
Mhm.
to try to just take over the world or anything like that. Their whole thing is they pop into wherever it is, and they
Yeah.
just like to hunt. You know
That's
what I
it.
mean? They like to hunt. That's their thing. That's their fun. And so that's their. I think, and also it could also be the first Predator we ever met, right? And the most Predator was 1987. That movie came
Yeah.
out,
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger film, the first one. So also we're talking almost 200, almost 300 years later. So
Yeah.
maybe they've also advanced their weaponry at that time. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
When we first meet them. But I do think this particular Predator was more like, I will fight you on your level.
I do believe that now I still the original was my favorite.
Yeah.
It's still my favorite, but as far as that series goes, uh, I would have to say that this is definitely the second one, my second favorite. It was really good. I think that the actress that's in that did a great job.
Yes.
Um, People were mad because they were complaining, "Well, this isn't historically correct." If she was a Native American, she wouldn't talk back to the male Native American, and I was like, "What? Who? Man, don't pick it apart. It's just a good movie."
Well, they kind of were showing that. I mean, to a certain extent, those dudes were beating her up when she was telling them she wasn't going anywhere. You know what I mean?
Right
Uh,
from the beginning, when they wake her up, they just walk in and like kick her. Hey, time to go out and
yeah,
get some berries, or
yeah,
whatever. It's like, dang
yeah,
on, not even like a hey, wake up, just kick her.
yeah, yeah. No, I thought it was great, man. I loved it. It was almost very had a very authentic feel.
Hmm.
I guess if you take all those gripes about women not talking back or whatever people were saying, but to me it did. It almost felt like the nature scenes are just almost like The Revenant. I don't know if you've ever seen The Revenant, but
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
very similar to that feel to me, and
yeah.
and that added a lot to it. I really did enjoy it a lot, and
I like the screen time between her and her brother too.
yes,
Because he was the man, he was the hunter of the pack, and she wanted to be that person. Or
hmm,
I don't know if she really wanted to be that person. She just wanted to show him that she could do it.
yeah,
I think she'd rather be a hunter than a gatherer.
of
And
course. Yeah, I don't think
that
she
was
wanted to take anything away from her brother. She just wanted to also be
mhm,
able to be, if
yeah.
he was going to be the number one guy, that's fine to her. But she just also wanted to be able to be out there and do that too. That's what she wanted to do, and I think she proved it at the very end. when
Well,
she,
yeah. Well, and a lot of it's like you look at some of the Native American folklore that you like, even down to like Bigfoot and things like that, or what is it?
Indigo,
Yeah, yeah, the Wendigo, and they also had the what is it? The Thunder some I can't remember now. Anyway, but there's a lot of those old
the
legends and
Thundercats, the Legend of Lino.
no, no. Yeah, but I don't think that she'd be able to beat Lionel. But
Yeah,
now some people were saying that she was able to kill it, but like Arnold Schwarzenegger wasn't really able to like take it out the same way or whatever. Which he did win the fight.
yeah.
The thing self destructed itself, but um, no, like you were saying earlier though, he was really just fighting with well, he did try to shoot at the end. That was very smart. I loved that the way that
That
the
she set
end of
that thing
that.
up.
Yeah,
Yes.
man, that was awesome.
Yep.
And
And I didn't see the quicksand coming back into play either, or whatever that was, and that was sinking it down. And then I did know I knew that was the trap when she had laid that leg or whatever it was there for
yeah,
him. And I was like, oh, just
yeah,
walk into it, you know. And then did you get that when she very first climbed out of it though? Did you pick up on that little shout out to Predator when she was covered in the mud and she was
I
leaning up
did,
against that thing?
I did, and
Shout out to the first Predator. I'm saying when
yeah.
she very first got herself out of the quicksand or the mud or whatever it was. She was
Now
leaning up against there just like
I
Schwarzenegger
do
was.
wonder if whatever that flower was that she gave the guy for the pain, and then she ended up figuring, oh, he can't see him because it dropped their core body temperature once she gave him the medicine. And then she like realized that and
Oh,
she took it out of the patch. It was the little red flower or whatever. Like she ate that and that's how her temperature dropped. And the other guy, the French guy, the colonist, he would have been okay if Predator didn't step on his leg.
I
I felt so
know.
bad. I was like, "Oh, man," because he was kinda, helping her or trying to help her, like, "Hey, just tell them what you saw or what you know or whatever."
Right.
So, but no, it was a great movie, man. It was a great movie.
Yeah, I really did enjoy it. It was awesome. And like I said, I think I don't know what this says actually, and about I was. Do you think this should have been released theatrically, or do you think that this is?
I think they did
I,
it right. I
I
think
do
they did it
too.
right.
I do too, because a lot of people have been saying, "Oh, this should have been released theatrically." But if you look at it, Predator really has never been a huge blockbuster.
No,
You know what I mean? There's
no,
been no huge blockbuster Predator film. There really hasn't.
no.
Um, so it's, and I think maybe this was good, and I know a lot of people are happy about it because it definitely had the best reviews. But I know when Disney, of course, that owns Fox now, I think a lot
Mhm.
of people were thinking, oh, this could be a PG-13 Predator, or you know what I mean? What's this? Is it going to be Disney-fied? But it wasn't.
No.
It was so that bodes well for other properties that Disney also has. You know what I mean? They can release on Hulu and stuff like that.
Well, I
Where they
liked
won't
that I
be.
could watch it with my 11-year-old kid
Yeah,
because, he did cut somebody's head off, but they didn't show the gore and you know what I mean? It wasn't that bad. I mean, you knew what happened, and then you might have seen him holding the head, like, later or whatever for just a second, but it wasn't like a gory movie. It was a good family fun movie.
good family fun movie indeed, my friend.
I don't know. I
No,
don't know, but it was good, man. I would love them to do more of the time jumping with Predator. Maybe have him show up in the 1800s, maybe during the Civil War or something like that, and then somebody has to, you know, sees what's going on, and
right.
you know anything like that. Maybe jump back to the 1600s with the when the colonists are first showing up and kind of migrating across the country.
Yeah,
This was a good one.
it was, and I guess there's a way you could actually watch this film too, and where it's just all in Native American. It's
Yeah,
where they're speaking in that, so that
that
that'd
would
be
be
kind of,
awesome.
yeah, it would be awesome. Um,
Were
did
you
that take
okay
you?
with that? Were you okay that it wasn't, like, subbed, that it was, they were speaking English, or would you have rather it
Oh,
been the other way?
I was fine with it. I was fine with that. And then
Yeah,
have it all subtitled. I would have been happy with it either way, I suppose.
yeah.
Did you like that being able to see the French what they were saying? They didn't give us subtitles for that.
Yeah, that was odd. That was
Yeah.
odd, but, I mean, it was fine. You could pretty much tell what they were talking about or whatever.
Run.
Yeah, that's all you gotta have. I
Yeah.
I think that's what anybody needs to know. If you come across a predator, just don't have a weapon, don't pick something up. Just stand there, he'll leave you alone.
So true. You know what I mean? Because he didn't see her as a threat when she was in that trap, and just let her be. And she started to pick up on that. Like it
Well,
couldn't.
one thing my son brought up, even the French guy whose leg was cut off and she was trying to help him, and then Predator ended up killing him. My son asked, "Well, why did he kill him? He didn't have a weapon." I said, "But he did earlier.
Yeah.
It's not like Predator forgets who you are." So,
Right. Yeah.
and even with her, he was going to come after her. I don't know if he would have bothered her, like when the bear and everything, all that happened. I don't know if she was a threat to him at that time.
No, he didn't. He would have tried to get her. I mean, she wasn't. She didn't have a weapon when she saw him,
Yeah.
so that's why. When he saw her, so that's another reason. You know what I mean? Um,
Although she did try to kill the rabbit, and that's why he killed the wolf. I thought about that. I was like, "Oh, well, maybe he's killing the predators." I was like, "He
right,
took the wolf out because it was, killing the rabbit or whatever." And I said, "Oh, well, he just watched her try to kill a rabbit. So now he's like, I gotta kill her too."
right.
Yeah, leave it bunny. I was like, he really likes rabbits.
Yeah, right. No,
Yeah.
no. This was great. I think we'll probably even get a sequel to it. I mean, I don't know if you watched through the animation. At the end, we're kind
I
of like
did.
they were telling the story, and then at the very end, they showed more ships coming to Earth. So
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. It could mean a variety of things, right? It could mean that they just realize that, oh, Earthlings, this starts the whole fascination with coming to Earth and doing the hunting, because this one she was able to beat a predator. Or maybe we're going to get another sequel where they actually come to get revenge for this guy. It could be a number of different ways or whatever it
I
means.
always
Did you
wondered
pick?
that. I wondered if they were coming back to get him, or they knew it was like, oh, wait a minute, his life signs are gone or whatever. So
Right.
maybe they're coming in like, all right. So now it's going to be the predators against the Cherokee Nation, which I was very happy that she was the Cherokee because I have Cherokee blood.
Oh, there you
And
go.
so I'm telling my son, that's my great 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 grandmother right there. This is a true story.
This is a true story.
Yeah.
I
No.
love it. That's funny. And I just lost my train of thought. What was I about to say? Oh my goodness. Oh
Still
well.
on the predators, or
It was on the Predator, and I have no idea what it was going to be about now. Dang. All right, maybe to come back to me. Um. Oh yes, the gun. So from Predator 2, the gun that she was using. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That was the same gun that was given to Danny Glover
Yep. That was
in
awesome. I
Predator 2.
loved how they tied that in. That was
Yeah,
awesome.
yep,
Very good.
indeed. So, I hadn't really thought about it. All these Predators, all of them are, there's no like actual reboot of all the Predator
No.
films. They've all taken place in the same world. These have
Mhm.
all been sequels, really.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I guess the Alien versus Predator are their own thing. They're not tied into that
No, but I think it's the same universe, just different timeline, I guess. Right?
hmm, different timeline. No, I think
Um,
Alien versus Predator movies are outside of the Predators series. I think. I don't know how else they could be tied in to it. I know it. I think it's more tied into the Alien movies with the
so
Wayland Industries and all that stuff.
I can't remember when Alien took place with Ripley. I can't remember like what year. Wasn't it like 24 something or
Yeah, it was way into the future.
was it way past that? Okay, I couldn't remember, but I was just thinking that if if they were with the aliens, if Ripley was messing with the aliens, maybe the Predators were around that same time too.
Well, what I'm saying is Predator, Alien versus Predator movies took place like in when they came out, like it's taking place in the early 2000s, during that time frame, right? That's when those
Yeah,
movies took place, and that's I don't think there was any. I could be wrong, but there was really no references to the other Predator films. Like there was no reference about the when
no,
Predator attacking Green Berets and so, or coming in Los Angeles and doing all this stuff. With
yeah.
there wasn't anything like that. There was no discussion about that, and because actually those that was the only two references that there could be because those are the only two Predator movies that had been made by the time Alien versus Predators had come out. You
How
know,
many
so
how many years after Predator was it supposed to be taking place with like the Danny Glover part two? Was that like right
uh,
after it, or it couldn't have been too far away because
I, I I don't know when it takes place, but they do make reference to the Predator attacking the jungle with Green Berets and all that stuff. I do know
yeah,
that. Yeah, but I
yeah.
don't know how many years um it take what that's supposed to be. That I don't know.
Because what's his name talks about that. Oh, the
I know it
crazy
was 3
dude.
years movie wise, or 3 years
Mhm.
real life wise. 1987 was first Predator, and 1980, 1990 was Predator 2.
Okay. So he could have been right along the same timeline then, like 3 years later or something like that. And
Yeah,
could have been. I can't
I
remember that
think
guy's name now. The the
which one?
the the blonde hair guy, the crazy guy. He was in
Oh, Gary Busey.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's in. Yeah, Bill Paxton's in Predator 2.
Oh yeah.
It's
That's right.
yeah, it's got a nice little cast of people actually.
Yeah.
It did that was another one that I remember when it came out, it didn't do gangbusters,
No, not at
and then
all.
they didn't make another one. Gosh,
I
I
liked it.
mean,
That was the
they
one
didn't
with
make another one until
the
2000.
Jamaican and the alleyway and everything. And the Jamaicans
Yeah,
just like,
and
"Come
you see the
on."
predator
I was
walking away
like,
with
"Man,
it.
don't call him. What are you
Yep,
doing?"
and next thing you see him walking away with the guy's head.
Yeah.
You know,
Like, come
yeah.
on, man.
No, I liked Predator too. I
Yeah.
did, but then they didn't make another Predator, and literally until gosh, well, Alien versus Predator, which was
Yeah.
2004 or something like that,
Yep.
2003. There was no Predator film. Well, so back to my original point is that I think the Alien versus Predator movies take more. There's more ties to the Alien franchise
Sure.
because of the
Sure.
Wayland Industries that they talk about, and I think you know what I mean, and in the Wayland Industries is all over the Alien
Well,
series. That they're
w-
behind all of that stuff. Well,
one
this
of
and
those
so
takes place. Oh no, that's Predators. That takes place like on another planet or something.
yeah, they basically what they were doing was kidnapping humans and taking them to another planet and then hunting them for sport. And now
Yeah.
I know that Lawrence Fishburne's character originally was going to be Danny Glover's character from Predator 2.
Really?
That originally that was the plan, and then somehow it got switched, and that was going to be the original plan.
He'd have to be
Um,
old.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, but so think about that. What was that? 2010 when Predators came out.
I think so because that had what's his name? that was in the King Kong movie. Um,
Oh yeah,
I
Adrian
can't-
Brody.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Adrian Brody. Yeah, 2010. So wow, that was what 30 years between Predator films. Yes,
Don't say stuff like
1990.
that, man. You make me
No,
feel so old.
1990.
And
There
yeah.
was 1987, then 1990, and then 2010. Wow. Predator's been I mean, of course, that's excluding the Alien versus Predator films.
Wait, that's only 20 some years. 87 to
Oh,
2010.
yeah, you're
I
right.
no, I'm not
It's 20.
judging.
It's 20
We
years.
both went to
No, it's
Culpeper
20.
schools. I'm not judging at all.
Oh my gosh. Well, wow.
I
All
thought you
right.
were
Can we
talking
edit
about
that
this
part
one.
out
And
so I don't
yeah, I got it. Sure. Sure, I'll edit it
No,
out.
that's 32 years.
Yeah.
I can do that, man. Right? Oh, was that wrong too? Oh Lord, I should just stop while I'm ahead. No, I think it's 32 years.
Oh no,
1990.
you went past 20. I can't count that high yet. What would you give this one?
Oh wow. I would give this one a scale of 1 to 10, man. I'd give it a good 9.
Yeah, I'm gonna be right there with you, man. The 9. It was awesome.
Yeah,
I thought it was a
it
great
was
movie.
great. I did too. I loved every minute of it, man. And we started it late. We had meet the coach night last night, so we didn't get back here until 9 o'clock. By the time we were sitting down to watch a movie, it was 10. Cindy decided she'd watch it with us and stayed awake through the whole thing. That's how I know it was a real good movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought she'd be asleep within the first 15 minutes because she just falls asleep in
That
films all
that's
the
my
time.
wife. I can't believe
Yeah,
she falls asleep like it, like within the first few minutes too.
yeah,
It's like you didn't even get to see anything. She's
yep.
like, "You
It's
want to
rough.
watch it again?" I'm like, "No, I don't want to watch it. I don't watch the whole thing." It's like the series. I know you suffer like I do sometimes on the series when they come.
Yes.
Hey, speaking of series, starting tonight. Well, it's on now. Lock and Key.
Yep, Lock and Key is back for the third and final season.
Yeah,
Sad, bittersweet, but I do like the fact that they're actually going to be able to wrap it up on their own terms and we get a clear ending.
yeah, yeah. Not a horror movie, but a great. It's scary. It's got some good scary parts in it. It's a good series.
It is, it does, and I definitely enjoy it. Yeah, so it's going to be good. I'm looking forward to it. I'll try to knock that out as soon as we can.
Yeah. Do you know how many episodes that is? That a 10 episode?
Ooh, I'm pretty sure it is. They all, if I'm not mistaken, they've all been 10 episodes in the past.
It's a good show, man. It went off with a decent cliffhanger last year, and yeah, I'm sad that this is the last season. I hope they do a really good job with it, which I'm sure they will. The other two
Mhm.
seasons were real good.
Oh, yeah. So we've got, yeah, I think it looks like it's going to be about 10 episodes for this season.
Okay,
Yeah.
that sounds
So,
good.
yeah, that's good stuff. So I'm looking forward to that. And I know you talked about a trailer that just dropped too, not too long ago. Spirit Halloween. We are coming up to the
Yeah,
Halloween time frame, which I know is
perfect
our
for
favorite
them.
time of the year. Yeah.
Imagine the
I'll,
animatronics they're going to sell after this movie.
oh yeah. And I'll tell you what, I was actually taken aback by the tone of it.
Hmm.
Tone was a little bit more not scary, but yeah, scary there than I thought it was going to be. I think I was expecting something more in the Goosebumps
Goosebumps,
vein. You
but
know
it's
what I
more like
mean? That
Fear Street.
yes, you know
That's
what I
what
mean. Not as
exactly what
adult,
I
but more
thought.
like Fear Street. Yeah. So
Hmm.
I was definitely surprised by that. The great Christopher Lloyd is back. And so looking forward to seeing him in the film as I always do. He does good work. But yeah, no, it looks good, man. I'm excited.
Well, I have a lot of the Spirit Halloween animatronics that I set up for my Forest of Fear. Some of them are um a little bit cheesy, but some of them are pretty good animatronics. And I was looking at the trailer and I was like, all right, I have that one. I was like, oh man, watch, they're gonna have like a brand new one be like the really bad guy or whatever. And they
Right.
do. And I was like,
Yeah.
daggone it. I was hoping it was one I already had, man. I could just like, oh look.
Right. Plug it up and ride there and have that as an attraction for the
Yeah,
for
yeah.
the for, your, for the Forest of Fear. Hey man, you got deep pockets. You'll have it there. You'll have the
Oh,
brand new brand hot
yeah.
new one there.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Hey, I have a question for you
Yeah.
on more of the superhero side. I saw something that said they are doing a reboot of Highlander, and Henry Cavill is going to be playing Highlander.
Yeah, I think that would be good. I don't think he's actually been cast yet. I know that his name was attached to a lot of different things. That's the next Bond, you know what I mean? And he's
Except
definitely,
Superman.
yeah, except Superman. They can't seem to lock that down,
Yeah,
which is a shame. And you know
it
what? They've
is.
treated him so terribly bad in the first place. I don't blame him. There's been a lot of rumors that say they've reached out to him now that they've done this course correction within Warner Brothers. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Warner Brothers in DC, and uh, so they're going to set up, have their own 10-year plan, and going to treat them with all of the respect they deserve, and have this big tent
Sure.
pole pictures and stuff. But we'll see. We'll see. I don't know what, but I think, yeah, he'd be a great choice for Highlander if they go that route. But I don't know. His name was attached to everything, so let's see where he actually lands. I would
Yeah.
actually, like you said, like to see him go back to Superman.
I like
Great.
I don't
He
think
just
I've
never had the
seen
time to do it right.
yeah, I don't think I've seen a DC movie that I didn't like. I just don't think they can compete with the Marvel.
They can if they did it right. There could be such a cohesive world built, and that they could be. I mean, it's just, and maybe this will be the time,
Yeah.
for them to do it.
I
Maybe this
think
will actually really will work, but we'll see.
yeah, well, I think Peacemaker kind of saved them. I really do. Just the series Peacemaker. I think that saved them a lot of fans. So I'm looking forward to whatever they have come out next, which I
Yeah.
guess will be the next Aquaman, right?
No, Black Adam comes out next
Oh
in
yeah, Black
October,
Adam.
and
Daggone,
then
how did I forget that?
Shazam comes out in December, and then I think Aquaman comes out in March,
Okay.
and then supposedly the Flash will come out in June or July. But everything that's going on with Ezra Miller, I don't know
That guy,
how they could
man.
bring that movie out without uh without an actor, without having the main actor be doing the marketing and publicity for that.
Yeah.
And I just don't know, unless things change drastically between now and June or July when they start to do the publicity for that. Who knows? But right now, there's just no way he could go out there and
Well, why didn't
be
they
the
just pull
guy.
the guy that played Flash on the TV show? I thought
I
everybody
mean,
liked him too.
he's good, but I don't know if I necessarily need to see him.
Is that a CW
It
show?
is, and
Well,
and
never
they,
mind.
but I really enjoy those CW shows in the very beginning when they very first started. The Arrowverse is what they would call it. And Arrow, Green
That's
Arrow
right.
show kicked
Yeah.
that off, and then the Flashes after when they very first started. I thought they were really good. I enjoyed them. Man, now it's almost embarrassing to see those shows.
Really?
The quality of the special effects, man. It's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Some of the bad guys that they have him fighting, it looks like worse than a Atari 20. I won't say Atari 2600 graphics, but maybe Super Nintendo graphics.
Oh my gosh. That's
it's
that's
it,
pretty bad.
it looks terrible. And so that, but I guess Grant Gustin is who plays him on the CW. It would be a totally different character he's playing because it's not the same. It is the same Flash, but they're telling a different story in the movie. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It doesn't
Yeah.
have anything to do with the stories they've been telling in the show. So I mean, I don't know, man. Well, even if they do that though, they'd have to refilm. This guy is playing two different roles in the Flash film, Ezra Miller. So let's say if they kept the whole film and then had to film all of his scenes over again. Do you know how expensive that would be?
Yeah.
First, you got to find an actor and then basically fill this actor and have him. It would be crazy expensive. I just don't know what they're going to do.
I
Part of me
think
feels like by
yeah,
scratch. Who knows?
yeah, probably so. I think
Then that's
Black
a
Adam will
crazy.
be their biggest premiere. I think that's going to just because well, not only for the character and the superhero, but I think because of The Rock. I think it's going to get a huge premiere.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm looking forward to it. They're introducing the Justice Society,
Mhm.
Hawkman, Doctor Fate, Cyclone, Atom Smasher. Those are four other heroes that are going to be in the film. That's the Justice Society. For those who don't know, Justice Society was actually the first superhero team formed before the Justice League. You know? And so then these guys were the heroes. So. But anyway, it should be good. I'm looking forward to it. I did hear recently that they filmed another scene, uh, the credits. So maybe this will be Henry
Oh,
Cavill or something like that. I do think, and I think it's based on what this new regime of Warner Brothers is doing. They just canceled the Batgirl movie last
yeah,
last
I saw
week.
that. And that
$90
had
million. Dollars.
what's his name in it, right? The original Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton was coming back to play Batman. And I'll tell you
Wow.
this though, I've said this before. I liked Michael Keaton Batman movies fine, but I don't need. The plan was has been said that after the Flash movie, that Michael Keaton was going to be in the new Batman in this world of this new DC
Oh, they
universe.
can't do
I don't
that.
need that. I don't need a
No.
Batman that's 70 some years old running around with a 30-year-old Superman. I don't want to see that. Now, if you're going to make a Batman Beyond movie or something like that, you know what I mean, where he is mentoring another guy who's actually Batman, that's fine. But don't take it out of this my DC universe that I need to see. I need to see a Batman Superman at the same age. You know what I mean? If you're going to build this cohesive Marvel universe, not a 70-year-old Batman
Yeah.
with running around with Aquaman, Jason Momoa's Aquaman, and Gal Gadot. That to me doesn't work. And I think they're course correcting that now because Ben Affleck has been rumored to he's filming scenes for Aquaman, the second Aquaman. Ben Affleck
Yeah.
to me has been the best Batman lifted from the
Well,
comics
yeah.
to the screen.
Well, I mean, Michael Keaton was a good Batman because that was the only superhero show that or movie that we had come out after Superman with Christopher Reeve.
Yeah,
So everybody liked it. They were good. Well, the first couple were good. After that, it was just kind of like, what in the world? Let's
they got
just keep
they're
changing
terrible.
Batman.
Batman
But
Forever and Batman and Robin, terrible films.
yeah, they really were. Oh, we didn't mention what comes out on Peacock on Friday.
Oh yes, Black Phone, guys. Jason and I are very excited about that one.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Scott Derrickson. Uh, it's basically Ethan Hawke and I think it's Scott Derrickson, whoever directed in the Sinister films. They're coming
Yeah.
back together making a movie. So it should be awesome. So
Another
looking forward to
Sinister
it.
movie or just another movie?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, they're coming back together and doing Black Phone.
Oh,
Is what
okay.
I
Yeah,
mean.
gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah, they did Sinister together. Ethan
Mm-hmm.
Hawke
Which was great.
and the Scott Derrickson. Yeah, they did Sinister together, and now they're coming back together and collaborate again on Black
That
Phone.
came
My friends have seen it and said it was really good.
well, I think it looks good. It looks really good. It looks creepy.
Mm-hmm.
Um Now didn't that came out at the same time as Insidious, right?
What did?
The hang on, I lost it already. The one we were just talking about with Ethan
Oh,
Hawke.
Sinister.
Yeah, didn't they come
No,
out around the
Sinister
same
came
time?
out afterwards. Sinister
Okay.
came out in 2011, and or 2012 actually, and uh, Sinister came out. I'm sorry, Sinister came out in 2012. Insidious came out like in 2010.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. I
that movie
liked
was
Insidious all except for
2009.
the look of the demon. It was too much like a Darth Maul, like his cousin or something.
I liked the Insidious films too. Yeah, Insidious was 2010. I liked those movies a lot. The
Yeah.
whole series of them. They're
Yeah.
right up there to me with The Conjuring.
I
Little
love
maybe stuff
the
below.
line that the lady says that it's not the house that's on it, it's your son.
Yeah,
That's a great line. That would
it
be
really
scary as
is.
anything, man.
Oh my gosh, you're not kidding, dude. You're not kidding. No, those are good films. So yeah, but no, Black Phone coming out. We're definitely gonna be watching that, and we will be reviewing that for you guys on our next episode for sure.
Yeah, and we're in August now, man. All the scary movies are going to start coming out. We still have like Salem's Lot is getting ready to come out. I think he
No,
is that this month.
that's been pushed back.
Really?
Yep, that's been
Oh
pushed back.
man.
Maybe for almost another year, maybe. But
Oh.
yeah, I know that. I know. That's not cool. I was excited about that, but we'll still get it. But
Yeah.
it's the HBO Max whole thing that's happening. They're shuffling around a lot of stuff, man. Now that we got the new ownership, it's taking over.
Yeah. Yeah. We still have Halloween Ends coming out.
Yep.
Um we have the Wednesday series, we have the Monsters movie. Which I'm still nervous about that. Um
Yeah.
what else? There's a bunch of new ones coming out this coming up in the next couple of months.
Yep. We'll definitely be getting into all of that stuff. There'll be lots of great things coming up.
Yeah, next week I think the high is around 80, so we're getting more into the a little bit cooler weather. I'll
Yep.
take 80 compared to what it has been.
We had like 106 outside yesterday, is what
Oh
it
my
said.
gosh, man. Oh my gosh. Like, well,
Crazy.
you knew I went down to South Carolina last week for a few days, and I didn't know hot up here until I went to South Carolina. I mean, I've been to Georgia, and but that was in October, but it was just so humid, man. You just walk outside and it's just like soaked with sweat. Just walking outside just from the humidity. Terrible, man.
Oof, miserable.
Terrible.
Not fun. Not fun at all. Well,
Yeah.
cool. Well, guys, I think that brings us to the end of the episode. I think we have covered it all, Jason. Am I missing anything?
No, I don't think so. Other than BT Haunt should have at least two movies out by Halloween, two new horror shorts.
That's right.
And hopefully if we can get the third one out, maybe go into Prime for a little series.
Well, there
So
we go.
yeah. Then maybe
All right.
you'll start getting paid.
There we go, my friends. But
Yeah.
no, yes, like Jason said, we've got definitely two new films coming up.
Mhm.
BT Productions, and we are very excited to show them to you guys. Thank you very much for your support. Also, we appreciate you guys helping us get to over 5,000 views,
Yeah.
which Jason, correct me if I'm wrong, I think that's the highest show
The
we've
highest.
we've
Yep.
had.
I was going to
Yeah,
congratulate you on that. I forgot to. Yep.
awesome, man.
Congratulations.
Well, congratulations to you too, my friend.
Yep. Nine hundred and ninety-five
Hey,
thousand more. We're going to start getting paid, man.
there we go.
Yeah.
Exactly. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, all right, guys. Thank you very much for joining us. Remember, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let us know your thoughts. Share the episode, and again, let's get up there. Let's keep raising those views. We definitely appreciate all the support.
Definitely.
All right,
Definitely.
all right, Jason. You have a good night, dude. We'll talk soon.
All right, Lee.
Peace.